Hey everyone, welcome to That Transit Show. I'm Monica Spain. Would you like to be more confident taking transit? Well, this show is for you. Today we're talking about travel training, which is like Community Transit 101 with Asch Qattawi, one of our travel trainers. Welcome aboard. Hey Asch, welcome to That Transit Show.
Hi, Monica. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Today we're talking about something that we do here at Community Transit that I think a lot of people don't know about. It's called travel training. And I was wondering if we could just start by telling us what is travel training and why do you think people find it helpful?
Well, like you said, people don't really know about the program. I've been doing this for a year and a half now, and even among community transit, people aren't too familiar with it. So what I do is I train people one-on-one to learn how to take public transit. And this involves anything from pulling up like a map on your phone to how to read the bus schedules to how to not miss your stop. And I train people of all ages, all abilities. Like my youngest trainee so far has been 14. And my oldest trainee has been 84. So yeah, kind of like the
Wow.
whole scope. And of course, everyone's got their own things they struggle with, their own strengths. And what's really great about travel training as opposed to like a group class, I get to focus on what they need. So if they
Yeah.
need that extra help paying attention to their bus stops, if they need, confidence approaching the bus driver,
Mm.
I run into a lot, especially younger folks who are like, I don't want to talk to a stranger. I'm like, trust me, the bus driver is your friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really rewarding, and the best thing about it is that I'm with them like from beginning to end. So walking to the bus stop, getting on the bus, riding around, and then coming back home so that they're not alone and they have me to lean on for those questions and for that support. For people who've never been on the bus before, that can be kind of scary, right? They've seen it in movies like, oh, what if I fall asleep and I end up like 3 towns over? Or even just all the stories they hear about stuff that happens on buses, but then they get on the bus and they go, everyone's actually pretty chill.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to get where you're going. There's really no scary part about it unless you make yourself anxious about it. So yeah, it's been a really rewarding program, and I'm just excited to see more people use it.
Well, I want to get into the details about the program, but first I'm thinking this is a really unique job, and I'm just wondering
hmm
what drew you to this job? How did you find it, and why was it interesting to you?
Well, it caught my attention because one, I like public transit. When I was up at Western at Bellingham, I just took the buses and I biked and I loved it. There's
So
just
you
so
didn't have a
much.
car when you were in college, or?
Oh, I did. I just didn't want to drive it.
Oh,
I
okay.
was so close to the college. I was like, I'm not paying $300 to park here. Like, I'm gonna use my legs.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I started using public transit like more seriously up in Bellingham, actually. And then when I moved down here, I was looking around for jobs and this one popped up. And given my tutoring experience as well, it sounded really fun. And the job itself was more directed towards like assisting people with disabilities. And that's still really primary part of what I do. So that was another aspect that I really liked, like helping a disenfranchised community.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Mm-hmm.
really drew me to it.
Yeah. But it really is for anyone, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's when travel training started, gosh, like 15 plus years ago, it was very much so catered to the disability community.
I
But of
see.
course, it's expanded since then. And because turns out everybody could use some bus training.
Yeah,
Yeah. Don't
totally.
want to leave anybody out who needs that extra help.
Okay. So tell me how it works kind of from start to finish when people call us about travel
Mhm.
training or email us. What's the process? What should they expect?
Step one is an intake appointment. And all of these sound so much more like formal than they really are. But what an intake appointment is I show up at their house or sometimes workplace. Sometimes people work, their home is their work because they are there all day. But I'll show up and we just do really simple paperwork. And I also just talk and get to know them. Like, where do they want to go? Have they been on the bus before? If not, what are the things they think they're going to struggle with the most? So it's kind of like an unofficial plan that I scope out to see what they need, where they want to go. I also get to know them a bit.
Yeah, a meet and greet, it sounds like.
Yeah, a meet and greet I think is better term than intake appointment. And also it helps them, right? Because you hear travel training, travel instruction. You think maybe I'm going to show up and like stiff collar up to my neck and like with a business bag. It's not that at all. And yeah, establishing that comfort really helps them just get into the program easier. Also, I get to check out the neighborhood, see what the buses are like, walkability, that kind of thing. I take all that to account, the sidewalks, the crosswalks, if there are crosswalks. That's a kind of a big problem the further out you go from cities. Yeah, so step 1, and then step 2 is just scheduling our appointment. And if people don't have their ORCA card, I love to make that our first appointment. Go down to Linwood Transit Center if we're near it, or Everett if we're near that one. Because then also I get to show them the transit hubs. And people are amazed at just how many buses, community transit alone, that are servicing the area.
So do they usually have an idea in mind, like I need to know how to get to my doctor's appointment in the next city over or whatever it is? Or sometimes is it just more open-ended than that?
It's both. I would say most people want to learn how to get somewhere specific. Doctor's appointments are big ones, especially for older folks who just can't drive anymore. Grocery stores, friends' houses, just like getting people out into the community. And for the people who don't have any idea where they want to go, I just get to know them, like hear what they like to do. And then I start throwing out suggestions, or we'll just take the bus around the neighborhood and then they can see places and be like, oh, I didn't know I could bus there. They're like, oh, I can bus over here.
So they're learning about those destinations that are available to them taking transit.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really eye-opening for everybody who does travel training, especially for maybe the younger folks who are just at home all the time. They have no idea what it's like to go out without their parents.
If you're working with kids, do you have to work with their parents too? How does that work?
The 14-year-old I had, their mom was totally cool with them training with me. And of course, that's part of what the paperwork is too, right? Like their guardian. For under 18, of course, the parents got to sign as well. But family actually can join if they want, not for the whole training, right? Because you want your kid to feel independent. But I had one trainee, he was 19, wanted to go to Edmonds College for the first time. And he was just having his mom drive him. She was also a busy working mom. She's like, okay, you gotta learn to take the bus. And the first trip, his mom joined because she'd never been on a bus. So it's kind of like a learning experience for her too. But then second trip, it was just me and him. Because you can tell they want to rely on the parents. Like, oh, they'll get me where I need to go. And it's like, nope, this is up to you now. But he did great. He did really great. And I actually saw his mom at a resource fair. And she came up to me and just like thanked me. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, she kind of doubted he could do it.
Yeah.
But then when she saw the skills he had, it really just like gave both of them more confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Confidence is a big part of it, right? When you're doing something new, you're maybe not, you don't have that confidence and you need to build that. And I'm gathering that that's something that you have to work on with people.
Yes, because nobody likes to mess up in the first place, right? Nobody wants to make mistakes when they're out on public transit because then, you might get lost. And me being there really does build that confidence because it's like, you do have these skills and I'm here to help you learn them and keep you safe.
And so does that happen in one trip, or do you do multiple trips with people?
I'd say most trainees do maybe 5 to 6 sessions.
Okay.
You have some who will do like one or two and they're like, okay, yeah, I got this. But then you have others who just need a little bit more help, or they are just really excited and more like, oh, I want to go here, or I want to go here, I want to go here, right? But I do try to do repeat trips because that repetition is what really helps. Start to recognize the landmarks, start to just know your bus number when it's arriving without even having to pull out your phone. Yeah, so it's very catered to the person.
So you mentioned some destinations in Snohomish County, and I'm wondering, do you also help people who want to figure out how to get to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport or downtown Seattle?
Yes, a lot of people want to learn how to ride the light rail, especially to Sea-Tac. I say mostly the older folks want to ride to Sea-Tac, and a lot of them haven't been on the light rail before, so that's really exciting. Yeah, and I want to say, so the furthest north I've trained somebody is Stanwood. Furthest south was Shoreline. But I've taken people from like Marysville onto the light rail. I've taken people from,
And you ride all the way to Sea-Tac with them?
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Nice.
there and back. Although one time we did stop in Westlake, which Westlake Station, I gotta say I still get confused. Not my strongest training session when we get to Westlake, but once we're out of Westlake, it's fine.
But actually, I think that's like there's some realism there, right? For the person you're working with, like, okay, let's figure this out, you know? Yeah.
And one time we found out that one of the maps was wrong. It was pointing towards an exit that was not there. And so we tracked down staff to let them know about the map. So like, hey, we did a good deed for the
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
Okay, so going back to the process a little bit, we talked about the kind of the meet and greet, which you called the intake meeting, and we talked a little bit about being out in the community, riding together.
Yeah.
How do you go about helping people plan a trip? Because I think that's like kind of one of the barriers. It's like, how do I figure this out? Like, I want to go here, but I'm not sure what I need to do. And then maybe that's a barrier for some people.
Yeah. Some people don't have computers at home. That's just like, I guess, not a thing anymore. But at least they got their phones. So with Community Transit's website, I showed them the like 4 menus at the top: finding your bus, finding your route, trip planning, and just like finding bus stops near you. And then trip planning, of course, is like the big one, right? And I really like to use that one because it tells you if you put in when you want to arrive by, it just tells you when to leave the house. And sometimes that sort of like decision making can be hard for some people. So when trip planning is like, yeah, leave your house at like 10:30, get your bus stop at 10:40, be on your bus at 10:50, it's just like it gets all the timing for them. And of course, I try to teach them that skill outside of just depending on that, but getting started is really, really good for that. And it's some people, the longer the trip is, they kind of get confused by the transfers. So transfers are a really big thing I work on with everybody because that transfer is really important, right? If you don't time it right, if you get on the wrong bus. So that's the top skill I make sure people have before I graduate them.
Talk a little bit more about what that might look like. Give me an example.
So there's a point where I start to, it's kind of like I'm the guide, right? But then as they start to get more skills, there will be a day where I'm like, I try to surprise them with it. Be like, hey, actually, you lead me today. It's like we've done this route before. You lead me. And once they do that successfully, I start to sit like further apart on the bus so that I'm kind of just in the background. Like I'm there if they need me, but I'm not providing the cues. And once people can do that part, usually they're ready to go. There are some, it kind of depends on where the bus routes are. I like to actually let the bus driver know, hey, I'm in my car and I'm going to be following to see how my trainee is doing. But sometimes bus stops aren't like near where my car is parked, and I can't really make that work. Like I tried it once. I ran to my car, got in my car, and the bus was just like 5 minutes ahead of me. So I really have to time that one nicely. I prefer to just sit at the back of the bus and observe because that way I am there. Um, but once people can do all of those skills without me, then they're ready, right? They don't need me anymore if they can trip plan, know where to catch their bus, know how to signal the bus driver to stop, knowing what to do when to get lost. That's always something I incorporate because I get lost, right? We all get lost. It's okay, it happens. I always make sure people have that skill as well. But then once they can show all of that, then they're ready to graduate.
What does graduation look like?
Oh gosh, I just fill out some paperwork. They might get like something in the mail that's like, thank you for doing travel training. Yeah.
You've talked a little bit about all the different kinds of people you've worked with. And an interesting thing about working in the public is you do work with people who have different abilities, certainly come from different backgrounds. Maybe they don't even speak English as their first language. How do you work to get to know that person and tailor this for them? And just sort of, I guess, be flexible. You have to be flexible, I would imagine, in dealing with different personalities.
Well, something really nice about riding the bus is there's a lot of time to sit and talk. So definitely, and I get some chatters, oh my gosh, to the point where I'm like, gotta watch for your bus stop. But that's where I really like learn people, especially in like that first session where we're just next to each other on the bus. And they just start talking and talking. And that's where I start to figure out like where they want to go. But yeah, there are just like, there's hours for me to be able to talk and figure out my different trainees.
Yeah. So you get to know people and they get to know you a little bit. Somebody who's listening might be kind of on the fence about whether travel training is for them or not. What advice would you give them?
I'd say just give it a shot. You know, it's free. It's not like you have to sign up for any amount of time. Just give it a go, and if it felt good, keep doing it. Or if you're like, no, I think I can figure this out on my own, that's at least you learned you can figure it out on your own. So either way, like, you win.
Have you worked with anyone who is just new to the area, or maybe even new to the United States or Washington State? What has that been like?
That one's fun because I get to show them a lot of bus routes, especially if it's like in Linwood. I had somebody in Linwood she had lived on, I think, Camino for most of her life. So when she moved to Linwood, she's just like, I don't know where I'm going. I know there's a transit center and I can walk to it. So I just like showed her the different routes that she was on. I definitely took her on the light rail and she loved that. And I've actually got a new person I'm meeting this week who's new to the area. And I mean like new, didn't know if Linwood was south of Everett or north of Everett. So we're going to have a lot of fun figuring out those buses. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
So we've heard about travel training now. If somebody is interested, how do they go about signing up?
Well, I know that there is a sign-up sheet on the website.
Okay.
And you can choose to do your email or phone. I suggest both, especially because most people don't answer their phones because we all think it's spam, right? So I would put both forms of communication just to be safe. And I'd reach out pretty soon, like within 1 to 2 days. And I can even get people on my schedule like same month, maybe even depending, maybe even the same week. I wouldn't say that I'm like super booked up, so I can still get people in before spring. Although I'm finding nobody wants to travel train in the winter. But hey, you know what? The buses are heated, and I say don't let that be a barrier. Like rain or shine, we got to get out there and get stuff done, right? Yeah, so just go onto the website, fill a really, really simple form, and you'll hear from me.
Okay, so for people who are interested in travel training, they should go to ctgo.org/travel training.
Correct, yeah. And it just takes a few minutes to fill out, and then they'll hear from me very shortly.
Wonderful. Well, Asch Qattawi, thanks for being on That Transit Show.
Thank
Great
you so
having
much,
you here.
Monica.